Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to talk about the desperation factor, as I call it. Okay, when you step into a situation where a dog has already gained a high level of control through the owner and through within their environment, even with other dogs in that environment, how it is that you'll see the desperation. Okay, the desperation start to happen with a dog that senses, okay, what's starting to go down already in terms of the parent or the dog owner changing their parenting style. Now, I just came from a session with a dog owner, okay, and with a Doberman, okay, and this Doberman having gained a higher level of control in the relationship, and in fact, another dog being in the environment, but very interesting. In terms of, what happened very quickly, and got to see it. In fact, the owner was really, he was like, wow. I mean, I can't believe my dog is acting this way, almost like a spoiled brat. Okay, and I talk about the parenting example, but when I had this German Shepherd, okay, and when he, again, knowing, okay, getting him to interact with this dog first, you saw very quickly, first the dog tried to appeal to him, okay, through how the dog was nudging him and licking, trying to get the owner to change by way of, instead of leadership, okay, which again start to bring influence and control in this dog, wanting the owner to take an emotional path, okay, because that's the way out. Okay, that was the first option for the dog. He saw it on display very quickly. The dog started to act up in terms of saying, please pet me, wanting, what was happening to stop very quickly. But what happened was, again, shutting that down, when I was like, no, don't do that. Don't be petting on your dog. You start to interact with this dog in a way that wasn't meant to be mean to the dog at all. Understand, as you're doing the method, okay, it's not about, doing crazy things and pinning the dog. It was just starting to interact with the dog with the leash, bringing the dog into a sit position without using commands right beside him. And so the dog understood the intent. But the thing is, because again, how these interactions, what they represent, okay, in terms of the type of power play, and they're very clearly, very quickly for the dog that, hold on here a second, the parent's changing, okay, this hasn't gone down like this ever before. And so you saw that initial desperation kick off in terms of, like, please pet me. That was the first kind of option to try to make it stop. But when that didn't work, okay, what started happening was, with the other dog owner nearby, like within a few feet, and even with the other dog, as soon as the dog sensed what was happening, that didn't work, the dog really started to try to lunge towards the other dog and the dog owner to get away from this owner. Okay, this is basically say, okay, that didn't work. My main supply is being shut down here. Well, now I'm going to focus on secondary supply, because it's almost like I talk about a narcissist, everything being seen as a supply source, because if you pay attention, that's really what's going on. But again, another level of desperation started to kick in. And again, so I had to shut that down. And in fact, what I did was turning this owner with his Doberman in the opposite direction. Okay, not just to shut down the visuals, that's part of it, but so that gave him the leverage or the advantage to start to intercept how this dog was trying to connect that way. So right away, turning him around and starting to work the method to get this dog to start to relax, which started to happen, okay, as we started doing it. And then again, from there, it allowed me to start to interact with this dog. Okay, this dog started to become more agreeable, okay, with accepting control and influence that way. And then I started to be able to take over a little bit, be able to show the method, right? But very interesting. Understand, like, when you see this, just really pay attention to what's happening. You'll start to see things for what they really are. Okay, the truth gets revealed through the state of mind of the dog. The dog starts to really show, okay, this is how I see other people, human, others say animals, my environment, right? But through the course of the session itself, making really good kind of progress, getting creating a framework so that owner is able to start to move forward. But again, very interesting. But again, when the owner started to piece things together as to what his kind of struggles were in the relationship, having great difficulty walking the dog outside, the dog barking and lunging towards other dogs, but even the desperations are coming out too in terms of, in terms of the session. I kind of approach it like circuit training. You're doing it for like a few minutes and then taking a break, because what happens is when I take a break, sometimes you just can't hang out with the dog like that, because the dog starts to really going into a challenged state, like putting the dog in the crate for a few minutes. But what he noticed was when you put the dog in the crate, the dog would go in the crate prior to me showing up there and be a lot more relaxed. Okay, but when you put the dog in the crate during the session, the dog was really kicking up, because that's the thing, is the crate starts taking on different meaning now, right? Because the dog's sensing, okay, the parent's changing. The crate represents control, because now the dog starts connecting dots differently, which is good. Okay, but the dog really started kicking up, and this is where I'll say, okay, you need to order a remote collar, to help the dog settle down in the crate, in terms of mostly to focus on vibration, right? In terms of a way to be able to communicate with the dog for that as well. So, but again, I'll say it's very interesting in terms of what I call the desperation factor. Okay, pay attention. When you start to engage, you'll start to see the truth gets revealed. You'll see how the dog's mind starts to go from, supply, different levels of supply, because that's how the dog is. The dog's gaining control, and the dog starts to get desperate. The desperation factor starts to really kick into high gear. Thanks for watching.